DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, former Delaware auditor looks to get back into public office. Plus, former UD President David Rozelle dies at 84, and Dover is named a top Southern city. Those stories and much more straight ahead on DETV News. Hello, and welcome to this DETV News Brief. I'm Patty Nash. Thanks for being with us. Making headlines today, former Delaware Auditor of Accounts Kathy McGinnis has thrown her hat into the ring for state representative in the 14th House District in the Rehoboth Beach area. Despite a previous conviction for conflict of interest related to hiring her daughter, McGinnis is pressing forward with her political ambitions. Notably, 2 misdemeanor charges from her 2022 trial have been eliminated. The Delaware Supreme Court threw out 1 charge, and the Attorney General's office has announced it will not pursue a retrial on the 2nd misdemeanor. McGinnis officially filed her candidacy on Monday with the Delaware Department of Elections, while a committee named Friends of Kathy McGinnis has also emerged. With longtime Speaker of the House Pete Schwarzkopf stepping down, the September 10th primary will feature a heated Democratic race in the 14th District, with McGinnis facing competition from 2 other candidates. Former University of Delaware President David Rozelle died peacefully Monday following a brief illness. The Pennsylvania native led the university through transformation in his 17 years as UD's 25th president. University leaders said in a statement that the university community still benefits from his impactful tenure. After earning a doctorate in mathematics from Duke University, he taught and held leadership positions at the University of Maryland and Virginia Tech. In 1990, Rozelle was named president by a unanimous vote of the Board of Trustees. Under his leadership, UD's endowment grew from $362 million to $1.2 billion. He oversaw the addition of the Bob Carpenter Center, several academic labs and art studios. UD also added 3 locations around the state. After he stepped down in 2007, he became the executive director of Winterthur Museum. He retired in 2018 to spend more time with his family, including his wife of 56 years. A House bill introduced by state reps Franklin Cook and William Bush would expand mobile sports betting in the first state. House Bill 365 came from the Internet Sports Lottery Legislative Working Group, which was formed last year. The bill would allow casinos to partner with multiple sports books, and supporters say it would benefit both marketplace competition and state revenue. It's estimated the uptick in gambling would generate $400,000 for a program to treat problem gamblers. The bill was assigned to House Administration Committee for consideration. Suspects are in custody for 2 separate homicides in Dover over the weekend. A 15-year-old male died Sunday night at the scene of one of the shootings in the area of South Governors Avenue and West Reed Street. Police said a group of suspects ambushed the victim as he was walking in the area. 19-year-old Brashawn Best was identified as a suspect and was taken into custody without an incident. He was being held on $1 million cash bail. Early Sunday morning, 2 people were shot in the area of Irish Mike's along West Lockerman Street. 25-year-old Sincere Friends of Dover died after being taken to area hospital, and a 30-year-old Magnolia woman was injured. 23-year-old Sadiq Ingram of Dover was later arrested during a traffic stop in Milford. He was also being held on $1 million cash bail. A Delaware State Police trooper has pleaded guilty to the assault of a teenager. Corporal Corey Bailey admitted to the crime in Newcastle County Superior Court. The incident, which occurred last May, involved Bailey kicking a 16-year-old suspect in the head during an arrest. The victim suffered injuries and was treated at a local hospital. Bailey's guilty plea comes after an investigation by the Delaware Department of Justice and the Office of Civil Rights and Public Trust. Sentencing is scheduled for June 21st, where Bailey faces a maximum of 2 years in prison and a $6,300 fine. 4 teenagers are in custody after leading Delaware state troopers and officers from several police departments on a chase that started in Bethany Beach and ended at the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk. The incident started when a car drove away from a traffic stop shortly before 7:30 p.m. Troopers pursued the car into Dewey Beach, but cut the chase short due to high speeds. A state police helicopter tracked the car until it crashed at the boardwalk and Olive Avenue. All teens ran away but were caught by officers. Police said the car driven by the teens was stolen from Dover, and they had also found a gun in the car. All teens were being held at the Stevenson House Detention Center. A 50-year-old Millsboro man received multiple charges over the weekend when he crashed his car into the Georgetown Circle. According to police, Daniel J. Tansky was speeding on West Market Street toward the Circle at about 12:30 a.m. when he crashed into the Circle without slowing or stopping. The car struck a curb, launching it into the air, and struck a sign before landing on a fire hydrant in the Circle. Tansky was taken to an area hospital for his injuries and was charged with reckless driving and unreasonable speed. The damage estimate is pending. The Indian River Volunteer Fire Company responded to an outdoor fire in Sussex County on Sunday night. The blaze was located on Long Neck Road near Fairfield Development. Officials said the brush, marsh reeds, and vegetation caught fire, requiring additional evaluation because of windy conditions. Dover, Delaware has secured a spot among the South's best cities on the rise in Southern Living's April issue. Recognized for its flourishing downtown and vibrant food scene, Dover marks its presence alongside 24 other up-and-coming destinations. Highlighted in the magazine's coverage is Dover's ambitious Capital City 2030 plan, aiming for a transformative decade ahead. Envisioned are enhancements such as a multimodal transportation hub, expansive commercial developments, green spaces, residential units, and a river walk. City Council President Bill Hare acknowledges Dover's existing attractions, but sees Southern Living's spotlight as a significant stride toward national recognition. Mayor Robin Christensen echoes the sentiment, emphasizing the project's role in fortifying Dover's vitality. As for Delaware's southern identity, geographically on the border of historical and cultural factors, including its agricultural heritage and moderate climate, contribute to its southern reputation, despite its Union allegiance during the Civil War. The eastern Wilmington riverfront is poised for an upgrade. The Wilmington Riverfront Transportation Infrastructure Project aims to revitalize the area while addressing environmental concerns. Public input is crucial in shaping the project, said city consultants, who are considering a range of factors from social and cultural impacts to environmental justice. The goal, said consultants, is to create a vibrant space for all. You can find a draft environmental assessment and have your say in the future of the area by visiting riverfronteastconnect.com. A bridge in southern Newcastle County that floods is set for replacement, and the project has qualified for a $15 million federal grant. The Taylor's Bridge on Route 9 near Town's End will be raised to reduce the effects of sea level rise and climate change. The number of piers will be reduced to improve the water flow, and retaining walls will be built to reduce impact on area wetlands. There was no exact timetable for the project. Delawareans are urged to participate in the 26th National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day on April 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. To dispose of expired or unused medication, this biannual event crucial for curbing prescription drug misuse, has already amassed nearly 120,000 pounds of medication in Delaware since 2010. To ensure proper disposal, medications must be in containers with personal information removed, while liquid medications should remain in their original containers. Vape pens and e-cigarettes will be accepted if batteries are removed. Approximately 20 sites across Delaware will be available for drug disposal, though none are located in the Brandywine 100, Hocassin, or Pike Creek areas. The Drug Enforcement Administration provides an updated list of participating sites, emphasizing the importance of safe medication disposal.
Court documents reveal a grim cycle of violence in Dover on Sunday, starting with the shooting death of a 25-year-old sincere friend, followed by the retaliatory killing of a 15-year-old later the same day. The initial incident unfolded around 1:30 a.m. near Irish Mike's Pub, where Friends was fatally shot multiple times in the chest and once in the leg. The unnamed 30-year-old woman also suffered injuries, but she did survive. Surveillance footage captured the suspect, identified as 23-year-old Sadiq Ingram. Fleeing the scene, Ingram was subsequently apprehended and charged with first-degree murder. Hours later, another shooting occurred just blocks away, claiming the life of a 15-year-old boy. The scene was marked by the discovery of numerous shell casings and the victim succumbing to his wounds at the scene. Additionally, 19-year-old Brashawn Best was found in the emergency room with a gunshot wound to the face. And in other news, Delaware Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long has officially thrown her hat into the ring for a gubernatorial race, filing for her candidacy on Tuesday. Overcoming initial campaign hurdles, Hall Long now stands alongside Democratic rivals Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer and former Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control Secretary Colin O'Mara. O'Mara led the charge back in March, swiftly followed by Meyer, setting the stage for a competitive Democratic primary. Hall Long's campaign highlights her significant investments in education, support for small businesses, healthcare reform, and her proactive stance on combating the opioid crisis. As a nurse, she has spearheaded various healthcare initiatives here in the first state. In a statement released on Tuesday, Hall Long expressed her dedication to Delaware's future, citing her track record of innovative solutions and readiness to lead from day one. Hall Long has served as lieutenant governor since 2017 after 15 years in the state legislature. The candidates will face off in a September 10th primary. And in a related story, Delaware has its first Republican candidate for governor. Longtime police officer Gerald Price is seeking the Republican nomination. Price is a former police officer from New York who moved to Lewis about 20 years ago. In Delaware, he served on the Rehoboth Beach Police Department, according to his campaign website. Price listed insurance reform, nursing home financial fairness, drug crimes and rehabilitation, and strengthening law enforcement as his main priorities. You can learn more about Price on his website. That's jerrypricedegov.com. And in other news, Delaware commuters may soon find themselves traveling from Joseph Biden to Thomas Carper, thanks to Senate Bill 276. The legislation proposes renaming the Newark Regional Transportation Center to the Senator Thomas R. Carper Station. The move honors Carper as advocacy for infrastructure and investment community connectivity. Construction on the Newark train station began in 2018, adjacent to the University of Delaware's bustling campuses. Carper's efforts secured federal funding for both the Wilmington train station, now the Joseph R. Biden train station, and the Newark project. Upon completion, the revamped Newark station aims to link Amtrak and SEPTA services while potentially connecting to Maryland's MARC, facilitating regional travel from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. Senate State President Pro Temp Dave Sikola, the prime sponsor, emphasized Carper's dedication to public good and infrastructure enhancement. The bill is scheduled for review by the Senate Executive Committee before the session's end on June 30th. To Sussex now, where Cape Henlopen School District officials are hoping the second time is going to be the charm. Having lost a funding referendum by about 700 votes last month, the district decreased the ask to property owners and have scheduled a second referendum on May 21st. Officials took a new swimming pool with spectator seating off the table and reduced the proposed tax rate by roughly 14 cents, bringing the new annual increase for the average homeowner to $87 annually. The district is also adding more locations for residents to vote. And staying in Sussex, the Bethany Beach Town Council voted unanimously at its April 15th meeting to appoint Sergeant Patrick Foley as police chief. Foley has been serving as the town's officer in charge since January. The Bethany Beach Police Department initially hired Foley in 2006, and he has since steadily progressed through the ranks. In his 18-year tenure, he has served many capacities while earning the respect of his fellow officers and the community he serves. Foley has served in a number of roles at the department, from public information officer and community relations officer to patrol sergeant and accreditation manager. Bethany Beach law enforcement is in the 5% of agencies nationwide that are accredited by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. This coveted achievement is considered the gold standard in public safety. Originally from Massachusetts, Foley is a Delaware resident who is active in the Bethany Beach community with outreach events and initiatives. He has twice received the Chamber's prestigious Officer of the Year award in 2007 and again in 2014. And in other news, police have identified the victim of a hit-and-run crash that claimed the life of a 49-year-old man just after midnight on Saturday. Delaware State Police responded to the scene on Route 273 in Ogletown to find Mark Gaynor of Newark critically injured. Despite efforts to save him, Gaynor succumbed to his injuries at a local hospital. According to investigators, the incident occurred shortly after midnight as Gaynor was walking along Route 273. A vehicle reportedly traveling eastbound struck him before fleeing the scene. Authorities are actively searching for the driver, though no description of the vehicle has been provided at this time. In their appeal for information, state police urge anyone with relevant details to come forward. Tips can be submitted anonymously to Delaware Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP-3333. And Wilmington has reached a settlement in a lawsuit filed by a group of current and former high-ranking firefighters. The agreement, amounting to $459,000, was given the judicial nod last week. The settlement encompasses back overtime comp and damages for 11 firefighters who held the position of battalion chief in recent years. The lawsuit, initiated by this group against the city last year, alleged that the department's payment practices infringed upon labor laws categorizing this rank as exempt from overtime pay. The contentions stem from the assertion that while all firefighter union bargaining unit employees were eligible for overtime, battalion chiefs were excluded. And to Kent County, Dover police are investigating a shooting incident that happened Monday afternoon. Police say they were called to a shooting on East Water Street just after 2 in the afternoon. Investigators say 3 to 4 suspects left a vehicle and shot at a parked car with people sitting inside of it. The suspects then fled in a white SUV, as did the person who the car was shot at. Police say they've received no reports of injuries from the incident. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to contact 302-736-7130. And 2 people are now behind bars following a frightening incident in Milford. According to police, on April 8th, shots rang out at Silver Lake Estates and Reserves at Sawmill, damaging multiple apartments. Thankfully, no injuries were reported, and after an investigation, authorities zeroed in on 2 suspects. Just days later, a search warrant was executed, leading to the arrest of 19-year-old Leonard Williams and a 17-year-old unnamed juvenile. 3 firearms, ammunition, and handgun accessories were found at the scene. Williams faces a slew of charges, including possession of a firearm during a felony and reckless endangerment. The juvenile also faces similar charges. Williams is held on nearly $300,000 cash bail and the juvenile on $82,500 secured bail. And staying in Sussex County, a new bill aims to tackle the often frustrating experience of dealing with towing companies proposing tighter regulations to ease the burden on drivers. House Bill 351, currently under consideration, demands towing companies embrace credit card payments and allow car owners to retrieve personal items from towed vehicles at no extra charge. While many welcome these changes, concerns linger over the vague language surrounding reasonable accommodations for retrieval. Additionally, the bill proposes a $500 cap on storage fees, sparking contention among tow truck operators who fear the impact on their business operations. The bill includes a range of provisions from mandatory photo documentation of unauthorized parked vehicles to ensuring reimbursement for towing violations. The bill currently awaits deliberation by the House Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee. With at least one state threatening to outlaw a medical procedure that helps families to have children, some Delaware lawmakers want to ensure that could never happen here in Delaware. A new measure introduced in the Delaware General Assembly aims to secure access to in vitro fertilization treatments without fear of prosecution. House Bill number 374 prohibits insurers from penalizing providers offering legal fertility services. Representative Kendra Johnson emphasized the personal importance of IVF, highlighting its role in her own family.
Doctors and families require peace of mind and hope and protections. And this is what the bill will do.
Senator Nicole Poore stressed the importance of respecting diverse family-building choices. HB 374 builds on previous legislation safeguarding reproductive rights, extending protections to fertility treatments. Key provisions of the bill include safeguarding medical privacy, enabling legal recourse for out-of-state legal challenges, and shielding medical professionals from external regulations. In addition, the bill prohibits insurers from penalizing providers or organizations offering fertility services. If passed, HB 374 could ensure Delawareans have unhindered access to vital fertility treatments. And upset by what he called insensitive remarks about statutory rape, a state representative from Milford is asking the Democratic caucus to consider action against a fellow representative. In a Facebook post, Republican Brian Shoup wrote that Democrat Eric Morrison suggested statutory rape should not be classified as a violent crime when the sex was consensual. The discussion arose during talks about a bill proposing taxpayer-funded scholarships for crime offenders. Shoup wrote that he stood and asked whether people in Legislative Hall had, quote, lost their minds trying to gloss over violent crimes as if the victims of rape of any level of definition are not victims, end quote. Shoup said two possible actions that could be taken would be sending the matter to the Ethics Committee or censuring Morrison. Representative Morrison was not immediately available for comment. And staying down in Dover, the House Economic Development, Banking, Insurance, and Commerce Committee advanced a bill this week aiming to broaden treatment accessibility for a specific form of cancer. Sponsored by Representative Cindy Romer of Newark, House Bill 364 mandates individual blanket and group health insurance providers to cover drug treatments for associated conditions of metastatic cancer on par with treatments for the cancer itself. The committee approved the bill unanimously. Metastatic cancer, which spreads from its original site to other parts of the body, affects over 623,000 Americans, as reported by the National Cancer Institute. The bill defines associated conditions as symptoms or side effects of metastatic cancer or its treatment, posing additional health risks if left unaddressed. House Bill number 364 also tackles step therapy, preventing insurers from enforcing patients to fail on alternative medications before accessing the recommended treatment. Notably, the bill's scope is confirmed to cancer-related conditions. With no anticipated financial impact to the state if passed, the bill would come into effect on December 1st of 2025. HB 364 now proceeds to the House floor for further deliberation. And in an effort to combat plastic pollution, the Delaware General Assembly will consider Senate Bill 263. Introduced by Senator Trey Parody, the bill targets plastic rings and connectors used in beverage storage. Introduced on April 11th, the bill would prohibit the sale of beverages with plastic connectors, citing concerns over microplastics' health impacts. Parody emphasized the urgency, stating, quote, "We simply cannot afford to keep doing things this way and hope the problem solves itself." End quote. The proposed ban, slated to commence on July 1st, 2025, mirrors similar legislation in New York, Rhode Island, and Maine. The bill advocates for recycling aluminum and glass containers, aligning with Delaware's sustainability objectives. This initiative coincides with major beverage companies transitioning away from plastic rings, signaling a collective effort to safeguard the environment. And military families here in the First State may soon benefit from a scholastic advantage in school choice, thanks to a unanimously approved bill by the House Education Committee. Sponsored by Representative Nnamdi Chikwocha, a Wilmington Democrat, House Bill 354 prioritizes dependent children of active military members, full-time Delaware National Guard members, and active duty members of a reserve component of the U.S. military choice and charter enrollment. Under the bill, military-connected students would rank 4th in priority for schools accepting choice students. Concerns were raised by Committee Chair Representative Kim Williams of Marshallton regarding traditional schools' mandate to adopt the priority, while charter schools are exempt. Chikwocha expressed willingness to work on an amendment to ensure equal application. First State Educate applauded the recognition of military sacrifices, seeing the effort as promoting equity and expanding options. Support for the bill came from Scott Kinder of First State Military Academy and Kendall Massett of the Delaware Charter Schools Network. HB 354 now advances for discussion in the full House. And the Appoquinimink School District will go back to its community on April 23rd for a second attempt at passing a tax increase to run the schools in the state's fastest growing school district. After failing by 245 votes in December, the district held several town hall meetings to learn why the measure was rejected. With feedback in hand, the district streamlined its proposal, removing 4.1 cents per $100 assessed value from the previous plan. This reduction entails scaling back on various initiatives such as visual and performing arts equipment replacement, technology device distributions, and plans for an upgraded bus lot at AG Waters. The district shaved off more than $1 million from the operational side, but left intact $11.7 million to increase salaries for Appoquinimink teachers, the lowest paid in Newcastle County. Failure to pass the capital referendum could jeopardize the district's ability to secure promised state funding for critical school construction projects. The plan calls for 3 new schools in the state's fastest growing school district. Superintendent Dr. Matt Burrows said the district is at a crossroads and would have to make $5 million in cuts should the vote go against the district a second time. With a history of successful referendum, the last one to fail was more than a decade ago. Superintendent Burrows said that he was confident that engaged parents and community members would come to the polls.
That we've been very successful with previous referendums. We're growing 300 to 400 students a year, and we continue to have that growth. We have the lowest operating tax in Newcastle County by a significant amount, and that we're at crossroads at this point. We're trying to compete in a national teacher shortage, and you paying the least in the counties doesn't help that.
And turning to weather now, speaking of April, it's hard to believe that it's more than halfway over. Now here with a look at the weekend forecast is Shakara Denise. Hey, Shakara.
Thanks, Matt. Time is definitely flying by because I'm getting a bunch of prom send-off invites and graduation notices. So, you know, May and June are just right around the corner. Good evening, DETV fam. I hope your week is going well. Let's see what the weather has in store for us. Starting off your weekend, we'll experience cooler temperatures and a chance of some showers. On Friday, expect a high of 63 degrees. If you're heading out, make sure to grab your umbrella and a jacket as temperatures will drop to a chilly 48 degrees. Now on Saturday and Sunday, anticipate partly cloudy skies with highs in the 60s. Although we won't have any showers at night, you will still need that jacket as temperatures dip to about 39 degrees. It seems like these frigid evening temperatures will soon be behind us as warmer weather approaches. Now, let's take a look at what's happening in our city. Meals on Wheels Delaware is hosting their Celebrity Chefs Brunch at the DuPont Country Club on Saturday, April 20th. Guests can enjoy exquisite tastings prepared by world-renowned chefs, brunch cocktails, live entertainment, and a silent auction. For tickets, prices, and more information, visit DuPontCountryClub.com. Now, for all my runners and walkers out there, the Delaware Marathon Running Festival is celebrating its 20th anniversary. This festival offers races for all ages and skill levels with scenic views along the riverfront and through downtown Wilmington. Whether you're tackling the full marathon, the half, or the 10K and 5K races, you'll enjoy post-race festivities in a beautiful park setting. For more information, head to DelawareMarathon.org. That is your DETV weekend weather. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Shakira. Sounds like another packed full weekend. Turning now to other news, making headlines today, 2 people sustained injuries, serious ones, Tuesday night following a collision on Newport Gap Pike. The crash happened around 8:15 at night near the Westminster neighborhood, just north of Hercules Road. Both drivers were reportedly trapped in their vehicles for around 20 minutes as rescue crews from multiple fire companies worked diligently to extricate them. A 27-year-old man operating a small pickup truck was airlifted to Christiana Hospital by Delaware State Police helicopter, while an 18-year-old man who was driving the car was transported via ambulance to the same facility. Delaware State Police are conducting an investigation into this crash. And a 52-year-old bicyclist was struck and killed down in Camden on Wednesday night. It happened in front of Brecknock County Park shortly before 9:30 at night. State police say a Nissan Altima was traveling southbound on Old Camden Road just after exiting Route 13 when the bicyclist crossed in front of the driver. The driver of the Altima, a 22-year-old Camden woman, was not injured. The bicyclist did die at the hospital. His name will be released after his family is notified. Anyone who may have witnessed this crash is urged to call 302-698-8518. You may also provide information by sending a Facebook message to the Delaware State Police on their Facebook page. And Dover police are investigating a burglary that occurred Tuesday at La Taqueria El Cabrito. Police responded to the restaurant located at 585 Forest Street shortly before 10 in the morning. Authorities say a man forcibly entered the restaurant by breaking a window just after midnight. Allegedly, the individual proceeded to steal an undisclosed amount of money before fleeing the scene. A press release issued by the Dover PD described the suspect as a heavy-set black male wearing a white shirt and gray sweatpants. Officials are urging anyone with relevant information to come forward. You can contact the Dover Police Department at 302-736-7130 or Delaware Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIP-3333. Tips can also be submitted online at delaware.crimestoppersweb.com. And as the city undergoes a vital bridge renovation project, downtown Milford businesses are feeling quite the impact. The construction aimed at enhancing infrastructure has led to disruptions affecting local commerce. Business owners express concerns over decreased foot traffic and accessibility issues due to detours. Despite the challenges, community resilience shines, though, as residents rally to support their local businesses. Efforts such as social media campaigns and special promotions aim to mitigate the impact and keep businesses afloat during construction. The renovation project, which is currently ahead of schedule, underscores the importance of infrastructure maintenance for long-term economic vitality. And the thrill of the Monster Mile is back again as NASCAR revs up for an action-packed weekend in Dover next weekend, April 26th through the 28th. The Dover Motor Speedway is rolling out the carpet for fans both on and off the track. While the engines roar on the asphalt outside the speedway, the excitement continues with free entertainment galore, including concerts, contestants, and celebrity appearances. Now, you don't want to miss the fan zone near iconic Monster Monument, where the festivities begin at noon on April 26th and 9 a.m. April 27th and 28th. But let's not forget about those races. The Xfinity Series is happening on Saturday at 1:30, and the main event, the NASCAR Cup Series, is going to be Sunday at 2. From driver appearances to live music, games, and even micro wrestling, there's something for everybody. So what do you think, Shakira? Are you a NASCAR fan?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
And my
nice.
son loves it too.
I
So
was
we're gonna
just
check that
going to
out.
ask if he likes it or not. I went once when I was probably your son's age. I was young. And I had to wear like the ear, because it's so
Oh, yeah,
loud there. I
it
had
is
to wear
loud.
the earphones. I remember just like going so fast you could feel the whiplash from
But
the
you probably loved
from the
it
car.
though
was,
as a
I
kid.
get adrenaline and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I loved it.
They go super fast.
Yeah, they really go super fast. I wanted to be a driver when I was a kid. My mom was like, no way.
Oh no, you're not doing
Yeah.
that. No. She was right.
She was right.
You had to go, Mom.
Yeah. Any plans for this weekend?
Actually, I think I may check out the NASCAR
Nice,
one.
okay.
And then I actually may go to the DuPont Country Club.
I just have tickets for that actually I believe it's Saturday.
Good.
Yeah,
So I can-
Sunday morning.
Yes.
Yes,
And I'll
yeah.
check out my phone and see the ticket you purchased for me, right?
Perfect. Yes,
Yay,
exactly.
yay.
All right, well, that's going to do it for tonight's edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms.
And for a look for what's happening around Delaware, take a look at our website at detvch.com.
For all of us here at DETV News, I'm Matt Ford.
And I'm Shakira Denise. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and Nurse Navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.